Hi friends, welcome. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for stopping by. And I'm sorry, today this is going to be a voiceover because I was studying for a test while I was making these. But we are going to make some more badge reels with Emergency Nurses Week coming up. We've got a bunch of badge reels to make. So again, we are using these planar resin flatbacks from AliExpress. So just from some questions from my previous video. So these are planar resin. It's PLANAR resin flatbacks. When you're looking them up on AliExpress, they come up with so many different like themes, looks, all kinds of them. They're super inexpensive, and they are not actually resin though. They are plastic. And no, this is not a sticker put on them. It is sorry, my dogs were going crazy. So the picture is in the plastic. So I cut out my personalization using my Cricut with vinyl, and I did RN, and you can certainly do names. So much you can do with these, so pretty. Now I picked my badge reels for these with expecting to have color showing through around them because of the way these fit, and I think it looks really cute like this. Now make sure that all of your badge reels work, button, all that good stuff. So for these, this white glitter, and you can use any kind of white glitter. This happens to be what I'm using. And when you put this in your resin or your epoxy, it brings everything out to look, it brings out the color, and it makes the piece look like you've resined the whole thing. So you can use this if you do tumblers and you want this nice ombre, but you don't want to use glitter, you want to use paint, right? So you could use paint on it, put some white glitter in your epoxy, and it's going to look like your whole thing is glittered. It's a really nice trick. So then I've got my different colors to go inside of my badge reels and the little snaps. Now I want this to have depth to it. So I am not going to just put on my Cricut vinyl that I cut out and then put the stuff over top of it, because then it doesn't look as nice. So I'm going to first go in and do a layer of the UV with the white glitter in it, and I'm going to do that on each of them and let that sit, and then I will come back and I will put my vinyl on, and then I'll put a clear top over top of that, and that way it actually looks like it has depth. It doesn't just look like you stuck a piece of vinyl on it and then covered that. I mean, not that you can't do that, and not that that wouldn't look nice also, but I just like it this way, and I think it looks better. So I'm cleaning these with alcohol beforehand to get off any fingerprints. Now this is just regular alcohol because I'm drying it. Any alcohol that you use inside your UV or alongside your UV that stays wet, or your epoxy, it has to be greater than 92%. Anything else has too much water content in it and will mess up your pieces. So just make sure that, like if you're using alcohol to clean it, no problem. Just make sure that you wipe it all off and dry it well. No big deal. So I am just putting on my UV on each of these. And not a whole lot, simply because I am going to be putting a top coat on it, so it doesn't need too much. But make sure you get to all the edges and kind of, turn it in different directions so that you can make sure there are no divots in it. And then after these are all covered, I'm using a popsicle stick. Sometimes I use a toothpick, whatever you want to do. And then once these are all covered, then you're going to put them under the light for 120 seconds twice. So now, if you have a light that doesn't go as bright, you may have to put it in for longer. That's what my light is. I am using the Resin Rockers hard type UV resin. I love it. The bottle that I've just had forever. People have told me other kinds to try, but I've had this bottle forever and I still have about half a bottle left. And then, I may decide to try something else, not sure. And then I use the Magic Cure Light. It is a little expensive, but it works so well. I personally think it is worth it. You see me drop that thing? I tell you, I think because I'm paying attention to too many things at once, but I've got sticky fingers today. I keep like dropping everything. All right, so we'll go under for 120 seconds twice. And now we will come out. And we are going to put our UV resin on. Look at that. I told you, sticky fingers today. The dropsies. So we'll put our personalization on with our Cricut vinyl. So for these, this is just RN. Again, you could put a name. You could put anything that you want on these. These are really super cute and super versatile. They're also very inexpensive when you purchase them. This gold that I used is the Dollar Tree glitter, which was such a pain in the neck to get off, but it looked good. I just ended up having to, pull it off and put it on in individual pieces. And then that white one, I know it's a little hard to see, but it's like that Dawn of the Dead look to it. And it's like very subdued underneath the the picture is really a subdued color, and I chose not to put anything on it because I just thought that it looks so pretty. Now I will tell you, my phone rang and when I answered it, I had to continue on, so I couldn't film and continue on at the same time. But all of these will get covered with just some UV over top of the vinyl and a nice, top to it to help it adhere and look really nice. And I did also drop the last one because I was on the phone trying to do it at the same time. Got UV on my board, had to change to a different board and had to fix that last one. And look, see, I dumped that one over too. Told you dropsies today. It happens. But the nice thing is they can all be fixed. So just, put some on. Honestly, I did these a little heavy. I used way more UV than I really needed to. So you don't have to use this much. It's me paying attention to other things. Then just cleaning up my little mess there. So just use a toothpick, get to the ends. Make sure you don't have any divots in there. And that's about where my phone had rang. As you can see, that's the one that I dropped as I was trying to get on my phone, and had to, you know, switch up my little board there. But actually, I like this round one better. I don't know why I hadn't been using it. It's much nicer, actually. All right, so now we're going to do our badge reels, the buttons, and I'm just, you know, putting my color in, filling in my little buttons. Just hold it kind of flat. You know, the problem is the more you move it, you can, you know, move it all around. And then when you put it under the light, you really want to hold it for a second so that it doesn't move, and then set it down. And I did something that I've never actually done before. And again, I think it's because I was watching my videos. I put on the black one, I put UV resin in the wrong side. So like I put it in the button hole instead of the button top. Never did it before, first time. So pay attention. I had to get a whole new black badge reel for it. So, and again, these don't need a whole lot. And, you know, when you're doing them, you know, you want a nice round button look. But again, you don't want it to be too high. I've seen people who have bought them from Etsy and they couldn't get their badge on it because this big, beautiful button top was too big for their badge to go over. So just, you know, keep that in mind as you're filling in your buttons. I one time made this super pretty one and I put this rose quartz in the button. Yeah, and same thing. When I was done, I was like, well, that wasn't very smart of me because you can't get a badge over it. And just doing all my different colors. You know, this is a little bit more time consuming because, you know, I'm doing different colors for each one, but it makes them look really nice. These really did turn out super cute. And while I'm doing this, let me just remind you again. So it's planar resin flatbacks. They are not resin, they're just plastic, but that's what they're called on the AliExpress website, is planar resin flatbacks. And you can get all different Disney stuff, different sayings, medical stuff, Starbucks, like there's all kinds of them. I have tons and tons and tons of them. They're so cute. They're inexpensive. They generally come, you know, anywhere from 6 to 12 in a group. And then, you know, make sure that you look at it though, because it might be that with the prices, like this one might be a little bit cheaper, but then you have to pay shipping. And this one might be 30 cents more. See, that's where I put it in the wrong space. Then one might be 30 cents more, but then you don't pay shipping. So just, you know, pay attention because there's so many different little shops, you know. So I fixed this, and then all of these I've been putting, you know, in, just keeping it going. And then for the very last one, I'm keep it going at 120 seconds 2 times. So here they are, they're all out, and now I'm going to adhere them. I'm going to use both some E6000, the fast drying, as well as my UV resin. Because, so for me, with the Magic Cure Light, I have no problem, like everything penetrates really well. I have no problem with my resin, you know, sticking, but I don't know if that's the same necessarily for everyone in every light. So I've gotten in the habit of using the E6000 just to show that, so that people aren't making these beautiful projects and losing their topper. So and the only reason why I do E6000 and the UV resin is because even the fast drying takes a minute to dry, and I don't want it to slide around. So I put that under there, and then I put the UV resin just so that it doesn't slide. Now this one, I put it on the wrong badge reel. Fortunately, I realized it right before I stuck it under the light, so I was able to change it, fix it, and not mess up my projects. So got it on the right badge reel now. See, this is what happens when you're paying attention to multiple things at one time. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm in school, and hey, I can officially tell you guys, since today is October 1st, I can officially say that next month I graduate. Can you believe it? Like, you guys have been with me through this entire process. And next month we're done. Now there is, a lot of stuff that goes with it, because you still, I'll have to get all my paperwork and then be able to take and pass my board certification. And then after that, you have to get, once you get a job, you have to get credentialed with all the different insurance. That can take 3 months. So who knows when I'll actually start working in the new field. But I will be done with school next month, and I am so glad, because let me tell you, I am so tired of being in school. I'm going to be 55 years old next month, and I never thought I'd go back and get a second master's, go back to school, and I'm tired. But look how cute these turned out. So cute. I love it. I think that they are just adorable. I hope that you love them too. And look at that, super, super fun. So we've got a bunch to make, because again, it's ER Nurses Week coming up this month. So I've got a whole bunch to make, and I hope you guys like it. Have a beautiful day.